Hello, 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 my name is Sam, and it's fantastic to be back in the world of Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. Today we're taking a look at a 2v2 match on Funeral Plains. This is a ladder match. We've got average ratings of about 1200, so that's where we're at. Let's just go ahead and meet the players. 2 UEF players for the red team. Team 1, we've got Crazy Radish in dark red, burgundy, maroony type colour, and then his teammate in Scarlet is Tam Winter. Over on the blue side, in light blue, we've got Madman 1 playing Aeon, and in dark blue, Tiffy playing Seraphim. So let's take a quick look at the map. Funeral Plains, a 10k map, recently added to the 2v2 ladder pool. Decent amount of mass, 30k mass. That's actually quite a lot. I wonder how much is right in the middle here. So it's fairly spread out actually. There's quite a lot of mass right at the back here. You can see both players starting right next to each other, and we have to expand outwards. So you can see tons of hydrocarbons. So potentially going to see some pretty quick economies. The civilian / Cybran structures over on the corners. I'm not sure how much mass is in each one of these buildings. There's about 400 mass in a T2 PD, about, I don't know, 200, 150 in a T1 PD. So, you know, a half decent amount to be collected over there, plus the 4 mex points on the plateaus up here. Just going to speed things up. Not a huge amount of danger of fighting comms earlier on. Not a whole lot of early aggression out from Team 1. Tons of Selens being built by Tiffy there. I built 4 engineers, 4 Selens, and then has gone straight back to engineers. Everybody else is only building engineers. Actually, just as I say that, we've got an archer rolling off the production line there for Crazy Radish, worried about some early bombers or something like that. We've got air out already for Tiffy. He's got a scout and just working on interceptors now. Also worried about bombers potentially. So not a huge amount of aggression. We've got 3 of those Selens going north. One's going to sit in the middle for a little bit of radar coverage, presumably. It's a little crater. You can't walk down here. You can stand on the edge and reclaim these large rocks, but you might be able to build the mexes. I'm not too sure. It looks like you can probably get onto this ledge here and build this mex. Not too sure about this one though. We've got our first little bit of aggression. No land-to-land capabilities on the archer, so the snoop goes down to the Selen there, but some strikers bringing up the rear. As we see an airdrop out from Tiffy, so going for the mex here. It looks like you could probably walk down that area, but obviously it's quite far away, so electing to just airdrop engineers, airdrop this one up here and 2 more over here. Not a huge amount of reclaim, so just really going for those strategic locations and the mexes. You can see Tiffy blasting ahead. In terms of mass income, it's already at 47. A little bit low on the reclaim side of things. Team 1 sitting at about 5k total reclaim, which is not bad. Gun upgrade started for Crazy Radish, so going to be using that comm aggressively. That's what we like to see, much more interesting that way, and the engineers being systematically cleared out of these plateaus. I'm not convinced it was worth it. Engineer trying to build a mex over here, but gets in range of the Cerberus turret, or at least the mex does. And units from Tam Winter try to push onto that side as well, but get deterred by both PDs. Gun upgrade finished, going straight for nano repair. Is Crazy Radish. A little bit of a run by out here for Madman over on the right hand side. Let's slow things back down to normal speed now that we've got things actually going on. Drop out over on the right hand side, a bunch of engineers built up on the top here, maybe a little bit of overkill. Actually gonna go for a land factory. Cerberus has something to say about that, but the words falling on deaf ears. This run by attempt manages to get a mechs. I'm guessing they got maybe an engineer or two or something like that, but a bunch of strikers come in to clear that out. Only UAF tech for Team 1. So if we get to the experimental stage, they're going to have fewer options. And clearly at every tech stage they're going to have fewer options, but it's most dramatic at the experimental stage, I suppose. Drop out here for Town Winter, trying to get some control over this plateau, and this lone engineer from Tiffy has actually managed to survive. It's got a radar. So, I mean, just that is probably worth it if we take a look at the coverage. I mean, that's not bad coverage that it's got. Currently having power troubles, so radar blinking on and off. Some units trying to travel forwards, but Town Winter there to greet them with some strikers, plus his ACU. And both teams just gradually building up units by the looks of it. Nobody currently able to take control of either of these plateaus. They are pretty hard to take. I think you need at least 3 T1 bombers, I think, to one-shot a tracer, and then you can slowly pick away at the land defenses. But because this is T2, you can't even get a Lobo in or whatever. And a nice little push here from Town Winter, moving on this forward production facility from Tiffy. This is pretty common to build these forward factories. I tend to prefer to build factories in the back. I know you can get units out to the front sooner, but I mean, once you've got a steady stream of units, the difference doesn't really make much of a difference. You've got a certain number of units per minute reaching the front lines, and the fact that these ones start near the front lines doesn't change that unit per minute number. There are some benefits, but I think they're outweighed by this, the fact that you've put a bunch of mass into something that is no longer doing anything for you, and in fact that's about 400 mass that Town Winter may well be able to scoop up for himself. A little bit of a run by attempt over here. Diffie getting some units up in Town Winter's territory. Town Winter actually having to retreat. You can see you can walk up and down these craters. A little bit of an air battle. Team 2 taking the win there. Team 2 with significantly more interceptors overall. And Crazy Radish, he has double upgrade. He's got 13.5k max hit points and 50 hit points per second coming back onto that comm, plus the gun upgrade. And the gun upgrade on the UEF very effective against Auroras, because they will one-shot those low HP Auroras. Double gun for Madman, but if Crazy Radish gets into range, then he will be able to do a lot of damage to Madman's comm. Just 11,000 hit points on that commander. PD was built, but actually about to go down there. Crazy Radish now continuing forwards. Doesn't have any units to back him up anymore. He's got a handful of units, those are quickly getting killed. Down to about 8,000 hit points, 7,000 hit points for Madman, and Madman with that crazy Aeon range, able to outrange his opponent. Oh, an overcharge goes into the ground and sets some trees on fire. I hate to see it, but Crazy Radish sort of in range, sort of not, of his opponent. I think maybe some intel would be of assistance there. But now both comms in range of each other, and T2 units in support. Those mongoose with their long range and AoE damage. Just 3,000 hit points left for Madman. 6,000 for Crazy Radish, and a lot more coming back every second. Similarly, we've got the Seraphim gun comm just blapping away at some stationary units. Town Winter keeping his comm away from the very front lines. Crazy Radish now back up to 8,000 hit points. Tam Winter still on about 3.5k. Moving forwards with those Mongoose. Very, very good at killing Auroras or Mongoose with their long range and AoE damage, like I said before. Though just 650 hit points, so they can't take a lot of artillery fire, so they do need to keep moving. And as soon as a decent number of Auroras get into range, those Mongoose will go down, so it's a little bit of a waste. Not too expensive, those Mongoose, by the looks of it. Don't know how much mass they cost. More than this. I think the fervor fire has destroyed some of that mass from the Rex there. Tiffy just still bluffing away at units there. It's got a Zuri on the front lines taking out that structure. And Crazy Radish on a little bit of a defensive here. I'm not completely convinced this is the best idea, building a factory. I'm not sure what the logic there is. Maybe it's not too bad. It is going up very fast, and it will be able to get units onto the front lines nice and quick. But looks like Madman is actually retreated with his column back here. 4,000 hit points. And we're back up to 11,000 hit points for Crazy Radish. So that nano repair becoming very useful. And the Mongoose in range. Those grenade launchers dealing a ton of AoE damage. Engineers on the front lines for Madman. Nice to see getting that reclaim. There's a decent amount of reclaim to be had there. 2,500. You can see the Mongoose Rex at the back here. And a little bit of a mistake up here. Tam Winter building a couple of factories with Lobos on a constant move order out to about here, but they keep getting in range of the Cerberus. You can see a whole bunch, 5, about to be 6 Lobo Rex in the same spot there. And the Aurora is mostly cleared out of this forward position for Madman there. Crazy Radish continuing to move forwards, back up to almost full hit points. He's got a rank of vet, almost got a second rank of vet. If he kills, maybe if he kills another factory, I'm not sure. And Tiffy in a little bit of a tough situation here. We've got T2 land out for Tam Winter. Looks like I think we've got T2 land out for everyone now. Blaze is coming out for Madman, but Tiffy getting a little bit surrounded. He's got that very effective Seraphim gun comm. He's about to hit his second level of vet. Don't think he wants to be moving forwards though. He wants to be moving back to rendezvous with his T2 PD creep plus the Ilshavas that are coming up to support. I don't think he'll be in too much trouble overall. This forward position that Madman had built up for himself completely cleared out now, and engineers on the front lines for Crazy Radish immediately scooping up that reclaim. Lovely to see that. And back over here, Tiffy down to below 5,000 hit points, and an overcharge goes very wide. Needs to be careful here. Strikers getting into range of the T2 PD and the Ilshavas. I think the Ilshavas should be moving forwards, but a bomber comes in overhead. Just 700 hit points left for Tiffy. Tiffy's in a tizzy. Just the one bomber though, and now those T2 units and PDs clearing out the units coming in from Crazy Radish. Tiffy surviving on 1,000 hit points at the end there. Crazy Radish being a little bit surrounded, but he's got that upgraded comm. He's got those Mongoose. Not sure he'll be in too much danger. There are blazes in range of those Mongoose now. But more Mongoose coming in from the back, destroying those Fervors, but Fervors have done their dark deed. They've killed this stationary unit, the structure, and that forward production capability now denied from Crazy Radish. Although I say that now, I've just noticed that he's got three factories over here, so I don't think he'll be too sore about it. Blazes continuing to move forwards. One overcharge gets the first one, and a whole volley of Mongoose. What's that, like 8 Mongoose, 2 more bringing up the rear as well. A couple of PDs built up by engineers here for Crazy Radish, but Fervor's doing a little bit of damage. Mongoose moving forwards now will deter that Fervor. They do actually manage to get that one PD at the back there. T3 land done for Tam Winter, so that's why he had a little bit fewer units on the field. Starting T2 on his comm as well, nearly done actually on 70% there. So he's putting a lot of mass into the T3 factory. How's he doing on income? Yeah, so he's floating a bunch. He's got enough power income, I think, to start building units. So he really wants to start building some Titans, probably. Crazy Radish on the defensive once again. He's still above 16,000 hit points, 3 ranks of vet now, keeping that UEF comm very safe. A nice overcharge kills 2 blazes. More mongoose coming in. I love mongoose, really cool unit. But not when they do this, which I mean stand completely still in the face of a bunch of T1 Artifier. Definitely not the way to play it. Mongoose, if you micro them, extremely effective. They're very fast, very long range, and their AoE damage extremely good at killing T1 units, especially Auroras. Madman now in a little bit of danger on 5,000 hit points, but in range of all these mongoose now. There's like 15 mongoose here. But units moving forwards for Madman, repelling those mongoose. I think those mongoose could probably continue moving forwards. I think if Crazy Radish kept his comm on the front lines to tank all that damage, he could continue forwards with those mongoose. But there are actually a ton of blazes moving up on the left-hand side here. Found some pillars. They're going for those tanks, but more mongoose showing up at the back. And Madman down below 2,000 hit points. 1,400 hit points now. No ranks of veterancy. Needs 500 more mass kills to get his vet. He got 250 there with those 2 mongoose. Nice overcharge, but a big volley of Gatling guns. Quite low DPS on those Gatling guns, but enough bullets will kill just about anything. And more fire coming down onto Madman. He really needs to not get bunched up on the Aurora. This fucking Aurora right here, going for the betrayal play. 400 hit points left on Madman's comm. Crazy Radish continuing forwards with his own commander. A nice overcharge here, could get probably 3 blazes, but Obsidian now onto the front lines. Very tanky with their hefty shields. Not tanky enough to survive an overcharge though. Reduced numbers of mongoose now as those blazes come into the back. Engineers spamming up PD, and what's happening over on the top here, a really nice push from Tiffy getting up into the back of Tam Winter's outer base area, but a few Titans on the front lines, well I guess on the back lines there for Tam Winter will probably be able to prevent these units from doing too much damage. They haven't got an MX or 2. There's also Volthu over on the left hand side. Neither player managing to get control of the civilian structures. Why is this thing grayed out? Oh, it's like a different color to the rest. I don't know why. Anyway, answers on a postcard, as Guile would say. 5 Titans out now for Town Winter. Gonna have to split them up. 1 Titan up here will make light work of these T1 units, and then the T2 units won't fare much better. Titans are just better versions of Ilshivers, really. And a counter push from Town Winter in the middle. He's got that upgraded comm, 2 upgrades on that comm. There's a big old mass field here. You can see 12,000 mass, but Town Winter not really able to scoop too much of it up because of the T2 spam, T2 PD spam. But these Ilshivers continuing to move forwards. If they focus fire, I think they could probably kill one of these T2 mexes, but instead they're just walking forwards and trying to kill some Titans, which they're actually managing to do. There's about 5 Ilshivers left, a couple more bringing up the rear here. There's another Titan gets to the front lines. 2 Titans have gone down, a 3rd one about to go down. The Titans do outrange Ilshivers, I believe, so micro would help here, but Crazy Radish bringing some Titans of his own up to defend against this push here. One of those T2 mexes has gone down. I think Tiffy could probably still kill this other T2 mex, and that's what he's going to do very quickly, losing hit points. So not a bad little run by there, soaking up a lot of APMs and a lot of focus from these T3 units. No T3 units have made it to the proper front lines yet for Team 1, despite the length of time that they've had access to T3 tech. So nice run by at the right time. It keeps those units in defense, which you like to see. Volthu coming over. It's killed mechs, I think, over here, and a couple of flapjacks. Just killing these defensive structures. Over on the plateau, engineers trying to rebuild the mexes, but being focused down now by that Volthu. We do have interceptors in the area, so Team 1 just haven't noticed, and there we go with the move order. Volthu gets a couple of mass storages, but not much else, so not a huge amount of damage done there. And a push now on a few fronts from Crazy Radish, pushing onto the plateau, kind of wheeling around to the left with these units to join the units on the far left that he's got pushing through straight into Madman space. A couple of Volthus from Tiffy coming over the top to defend. No flak, definitely a mistake, I think, from Tiffy. No air tech for Team 1, so you want to have mobile flak units dotted around, I think. These T2 units, just pillars, not the most effective units in the world. T3 done now for Madman, so that's why he's eased off in terms of creating pressure on his side of the map here. These T2 units going to peter out in the face of a bunch of blazes from Madman. And I guess this is why the Cerberus was grayed out, because it belonged to Crazy Radish, maybe? I don't really know, but I don't know how I managed to get an engineer close enough to what you call it, not reclaim, you know, take it over, mind control it, whatever. But he did it somehow. I would just reclaim it, honestly. Control K, reclaim it, 400 mass, nice and easy. I don't think it's in the... Although, actually, in my head it was... this team was Team 2, but it's actually Team 1 that have got access to this corner now, so maybe not a bad idea to keep that Cerberus turret alive, because Team 2 are going to try and spend resources on taking control of that plateau back for themselves. We take a quick look at the mass numbers. Despite the territory that Team 1 appear to have, Team 2 are significantly ahead on all forms of eco. Actually, slightly behind on power generation, but we don't really care about that. About 50 mass per tick ahead for Team 2, and 23,000 mass in total ahead. Mongoose facing up against blazes and obsidians. The monkeys outrange, but without micro they will go down very quickly to the hefty obsidians. Do we see any T3 units out from Madman? Got our first Harbinger here. Actually, this is our first one by the looks of it. Get Willow's Duality on the line. He loves these things. Look at that. Look at that. Just reclaimed like 50 mass. Incredible. I love it. Titans on the field on the front lines for Crazy Radish. Finding the Ilshivers and Harbingers of Team 2 and deciding to retreat. Titans are really good units, but they lack in terms of range. So once they get into range of the enemy is usually in range of them. And a bunch of T2 units will clear out these T1 units from Crazy Radish. He's got engineers on the front lines. He's got his own comm with a shield upgrade now. Is that a shield upgrade? Am I able to see the shield hit points? Normally I can see the shield hit points. I don't know why I can't at the minute. I've done something weird with my mods. That means I can't see the shield hit points, but I think it's about 19,000 hit points on that first shield upgrade. There it is. Maybe it was just wasn't being powered, but yeah, 19,000 hit points on the shield and about 90,000 on the comm itself. About to get his 5th and final rank of veterancy as well. Gets one more nice overcharge. Boom! There we go. So 20,250 hit points on the chassis of that comm. Definitely something to be reckoned with, and a proper BD creep going on for Tiffy here, trying to get control of this mass field. There's still, like 9,000 mass to be reclaimed. Nobody's actually reclaimed the natural mass in the direct center of the map just yet. And another T2 push over on the left-hand side for Tiffy, just making life a little bit hard for Tam Winter. Couple Titans in defense, a couple Percys now as well, actually. That's really nice to see. Those will make light work of Ilshivers. I think it takes 2 shots from a Percival to kill an Ilshiver, about 1700, I think 1750 hit points of damage for each shot of a Percival, 2500 HP on an Ilshiver, and a T2 Mass Extractor right on the front lines there for Tiffy. That will go down in short order, I imagine. We've got bombers out overhead for Crazy Radish, slowly whittling away with that mechs there. And just loads of mechs on the front, or middle line, no man's land, I don't know what this is, but very much in Team 1's territory, and these mechs have not been built. You can see some engineers positioned to build, but not actually going for it. I don't know if I'm being tricked. I don't know if these are not actually mexes or something. I don't know. I think they are. But Titans moving forwards now. Titans for Crazy Radish plus Percivals from Tam Winter. I wouldn't mind if one of these players gave control of their units to the other, so that you've got one player controlling all of the units in a particular area, so you can push more effectively, more synchronizedly. F-ton of Titans just fucking ruining this Harbinger's day. He was just trying to sit in the sun, maybe reclaim some wrecks, and the Titans came over. Their little waddle that they do. Look at this shit. How do you do it? Like this, and then like this. This is a lot of effort to get a cinematic shot, but look at that. And that little cocky swagger that they've got going. Coming for that booty. Look at me. Anyway. Those Titans will repel the few Harbingers that Madman has on the front lines. Still got a bunch of Blazes back here, Obsidians as well. Titan's trying to move in on this PD creep, but that's definitely not what you want to do. The Titan going down before it can inflict even half damage on a single point defense. Tiffy getting control of this mass field. I think he should have lots more engineers. He should have like 10 engineers probably clearing out this mass field. Got T3 engineers back here. He's got T2 engineer. Just send this guy on a patrol order around, reclaiming the mass. You can see all of these Siren units. Civilian Siren units have been destroyed, and the white civilian structures themselves have not been reclaimed yet. I think there's like 200 reclaimed to be had in each one of those buildings, so definitely worth reclaiming. A little bit of a push now coming in. Crazy Radish assisting with his commander, beefy com, that the UEF have access to. Some nice overcharges would deal a lot of damage here. Does Crazy Radish have power? He does. I don't know why he's not using the overcharge function. So easy. I mean, an overcharge right here could kill like 4 Obsidians or something, if you timed it right. But those Titans just sitting in range, and not a huge amount of hit points on a Titan. Just 3,300 in total, including the shield. So they do go down quite quickly to a huge number of T2 and a few T3 units in the back there. I really think Crazy Radish needs to be paying attention, use that overcharge more effectively. He's got 167 kills on that commander. As some Volthus come in over the top, and a whole bunch of T1 bombers actually. This could be dangerous. He's still sitting on about 40,000 hit points, so not too worried, but you can see the hit points just melting off that shield, down to 10,000 hit points on the shield. Getting 30 hit points per second back, but some interceptors coming in over the top for Crazy Radish. They are low on fuel, so not able to move very fast at all. Crazy Radish still with that shield available to him. If he was overcharging, that would be quite nice. Get some overcharges down onto the Harbingers. It's down. That shield has been completely destroyed now, and the shield needs to, I believe, fully recharge before it flickers back on. So that will take quite some time. See, dipping down below 14,000 hit points on the chassis. And he's got enemy units on both sides, lots of T2 units, T3 units as well. Harbingers keeping up, and this could be really dangerous. Below 12,000 hit points now on that commander, and I can't see any way that he's going to be able to save the comm. In fact, actually, now that I say that, some T3 units bunching up a little bit on the hill. He's trying to duke his opponent. Opponent moves forwards, he moves backwards. And down below 5,000 hit points on that comm. 4,000 hit points now as the Titans make landfall. Still only 170 kills on this commander. I don't know why he's not using the overcharge more frequently. It does make you stop, but if you're careful, it's not too much of a problem. And pop! Some Januses coming in to try and kill some of these units, but not in time. That commander, I really think that commander should have survived, honestly, if he was using the overcharge more effectively. You can see he's actually pausing the shields on some of these Titans, so maybe he was having power troubles, but it looked like, when I looked before, it looked like he was fine on power. But all of those units and structures going over to Tam Winter now. And you can see that Team 2 ahead quite significantly now on mass. They've taken over. Team 1 were ahead before, but Team 2 now about 70 mass per tick ahead. About 30k mass total ahead. And some sniper bots on the front lines. Not bad for Tiffy. Needs to be careful. Let's see this shield being used more effectively to actually protect those units. I tend to build one shield for every 2 sniper bots. Like a pretty good ratio, and then get some lightning tanks in there as well. Quite a lot of hit points on this thing, 10,000 hit points on that shield, so nothing to be sniffed at. But one pass from a single T2 bomber, I believe, will kill those Seraphim sniper bots. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe speed things up. Yeah, a little bit of a standoff tactics. We've actually got a push attempted for Tam Winter down on the right hand side here. Those units that were trying to defend Crazy Radish's comp have redirected themselves and moved down. A Fat Boy being started. There it is. Fat Boy started there for Tam Winter. We'll see what he can get done with that. 354 mass per tick for Team 2 now. If they started an experimental of their own, it would go up significantly quicker. And these units for Madman reclaiming this plateau that has been in Team 1's possession for so long. I'm not sure how Team 2 are so far ahead on mass. It must be they've got loads more T3 mexes. You can see 4 T3 mexes for Madman, plus 5 for Tiffy. Let's see how many Tam Winter has. He's got 5 of his own, so I don't know where all this mass differential is coming from. They're now over 100 mass per tick greater than their opponents. I suppose some of it is that these mex points have just never been built. 6 mex points here, that's 12 mass per tick if they're only T1 mexes. We can see they've got T2 mexes on the front line, so it could be like 36 mass per tick on these mex points, but just not making use of them, and I have absolutely no idea why. With these units that took over the plateau in the bottom right corner, now moving up, destroying the forward factories. Madman could even use those Harbingers to reclaim these factories. There's actually an Omni sensor here, 1800 hit points in mass, in that wreck. You can see 200 odd hit mass on each of these factories, so significant amount of mass. And Ravager's built now for Town Winter, going full turtle mode. It's got a T2 radar system over here. Let's see what the coverage looks like. You must have a T2 radar back here. Potentially, yeah, because you can see these units, and those units are moving forwards. The strap bombers overhead, no flak in the mix there for Madman, so those strap bombers will get a fair amount of work done. There's the second one coming back on screen now. Gets a couple of kills there, nice. Slow things down, I forgot that I was sped up there. Nice bomb, kills 3 obsidians, I think. Gets the shields off the Harbingers. Second bomber comes in and finishes the job. Just 1 obsidian left standing. I have Fatty. Says Town Winter. Well, you have 60% of a Fatty, and anything less than 100% is essentially 0% until you've actually built the damn thing. And Team 2 just continuing to run away with it in terms of mass generation. They're over 150 mass per tick ahead of Town Winter. And they're making things even harder for their opponent by pushing with these units. Titans in defense, but there's just too many T2 units here. Janus with some just completely random friendly fire there, just destroying like 6 civilians. That's a war crime if I've ever seen one. Fatboy still only 80% complete, and T2 units encroaching. Switch all of these engineers up to building triads, because if these engineers go down and the Fatboy blueprint is killed, that is basically GG right there. Titans coming in to the rear. Strap bomb is still overhead. 2 triads online now. I'm not even sure that strap bomber actually got a bomb off. Janus coming in over the top, committing more war crimes, killing friendly civilians. Stop. Pay more attention. It's really not useful at all. Nice kill of 62 units plus a couple of friendly T1 PGens, but they won't worry too much about that. I've got T3 power generation online. And finally those units killed. We've got the Fatboy almost complete. Do we have any experimental production on the side of Team 2? Not that I can see. Fatboy finished now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no experimentals being produced. There is a bit of a strap bomb snipe possibly on the card. You've got 5 strap bombers out now for Tiffy. None that I can see for his teammate. No ASFs. Well, a couple of ASFs actually on the field. Yeah, a bunch of ASFs on the field for Town Winter. So those strap bombers, they would get 1 pass off, maybe half of a second pass, but not much more than that. I don't think. There is no flak in the area, so it needs to get some flak or even some SAM sites online to protect that comp. He doesn't have good enough control of the skies, I don't think, not to be building static anti-air. And a whole bunch of Percivals, thinking better about moving forwards on this position here. There's just a fuck ton of T2. Let's take a look at this. We just take a look at these ones. We've got 26 T2 point defense in this area. And Ethota started, I did see that queued up. Here it is. Fully underway. Look at the tiny little Ethota. Look at the teeny tiny little Ethota. It's so cute. It's so cute. But they always grow up, don't they? They always grow up. And they stop being quite so cute when they're firing plasma ion ball cannons of death everywhere. Anyway, Fatboy nearing the front lines, just slowly riveting forwards. I don't know if that really makes sense, but I always think of the Fatboy as a frog or maybe a toad. So in my head it makes a ribbit noise. And why have these mechs still not been built? This is an absolute travesty. There's so much mass here as well. 27k mass on the screen there. I think there's tons over here, but a little bit harder to get to. We've actually got engineers on the front lines now, so not too bad. But get more engineers over here. There's tons of mass to be had over here, and I mean, this mass definitely you can get. This mass is a little bit harder, and Madman actually going to get most of that mass, I think. Got engineers on the front lines. A little bit of a suicide scouting mission, one of my favourite tactics, as the fat boy trundles on forwards. These Percivals should definitely be in assistance, especially the parashield should be in assistance as well. Attempted some T2 bombers trying to kill the engineers and co, reclaiming these mass fields. Take a look at the reclaim numbers. Got just 30k for Town Winter, and Crazy Radish should reclaim 34, but a lot of that gone up in smokes. A lot of the mass and power that Crazy Radish collected before he died went into upgrading his comm, and all of those upgrades die with him, as the Fat Boy now the target of a whole bunch of strap bombers. But there's flak in the area, the shield and the Fat Boy survives. It's in range of some parashields as well. Really nice to see some SAM sites back here. We're going to take out 2 of those strap bombers. I mean, I don't think you even have to retreat with this Fat Boy, honestly. Although, I mean, there's units moving forwards, but just move forwards with all of these Percivals. Keep moving forwards with the Fat Boy, get it in range of this defensive position. I mean, the shield's not even on. The shield's been killed. Get that Fat Boy moving forwards. At least one bomb gets through there, but enough ASFs in the area to prevent that Fat Boy dying. Once that shield comes back online, hopefully we'll see the Fat Boy moving forwards once again, but a huge T2 push. Maybe this is why he's moving the Fat Boy back, trying to defend against this T2 push on the right-hand side here. Not enough units over here, not enough PD. Trying to spam up Triads, but I mean, you should really have just a bank of Triads or even Ravagers here, if we're being honest. We know that Madman has tried to push up on this right-hand side before. We know it's done damage before. And we know we don't have enough units on this right-hand side to defend. And if we were scouting, we know that Madman would have had a whole bunch of units here. So, should have had Triads here. All this damage that these T2 units are doing could have been, if not prevented, heavily mitigated. T1 bombers coming in overhead, doing basically nothing. There's a few T3 bombers in the area as well, and T1 bombers now taking to the skies. But I mean, this is not good here. This is not good at all for Town Winter. It's already on less than half of the mass income of his 2 opponents. And I mean, it's hard to tell how much of this damage is friendly fire and how much of it is legitimate damage from Town Winter's enemy. Nice strap bomb, kills like 5, 6, maybe 7 T2 units there. Nano repair done. Advanced nano repair started on Tiffy's commander. That'll take him up to like 40,000 hit points or something like that. So just making sure that that comm won't die to any snipe attempts. I'm surprised that these T2 units didn't do more damage. They did kill a whole ton of build capacity. T3 support factory. If they killed this T3 air factory, that would have been, I think that would have been GG basically. See, Thoto was never really finished, and the Fat Boy is getting to range. How the fuck did the Fat Boy die? How does that happen? Was it? It must have been strap bombers. He must have built more strap bombers or something like that. I don't know how the fuck this Fat Boy died, but that's really bad for Town Winter. He needs to get these engineers moving forwards. We're claiming that wreck, 17,000 mass to be had there. But Percival's moving forwards, and more T2 PDs being spammed up, plus a shield generator, but I don't think that shield generator will get up in time. It's a T3. Take quite a lot to build. Percivals do a lot of damage. This commander actually not going to get that upgrade complete in time. If these Percivals get into range, it'll only take about 10 shots to kill this commander. There's at least 5 Percivals in the area. One more volley will kill this commander, and he's not got any move order, and that commander actually goes pop. That surprises me. Town Winter just has almost 0 resources available to him, and he's able to make that blow happen. And all of those units being transferred over to Madman now. But the Percival's still in the area. And again, I feel like Team 2 has had time to build T2 PDs. This Percival's coming in, destroying some support factories maybe. There's Harbingers in defense, a couple of Strap Bombers in defense as well. It's hard to tell what these Percivals should go for. I think they should probably get under the shield, go for the power, which maybe is what they're going to do, maybe not. Do we have, how many T3 power generators do we have? We've got one here, we've got a bunch here, so there's tons of T3 power actually. But there's the problem. Madman not even able to spend half of the mass income that he's got. He's got T3 on that commander, so I don't know why he's not building PDs or something like that. The attack pings coming down looks like from Crazy Radish as Townwinter moves those Percivals over towards that enemy commander. I mean, I don't really know what's going on here. You've got so much build power here. 100 build power on the comm plus like 180, 210 build power in the form of those T3 engineers. A nice rank of veterancy keeps Madman up into the green, and Harbingers come in over the top to defend, so Madman will keep that comm safe. What's he doing now? I mean, he's still only able to spend about half the mass that he's getting. I mean, start something. Just get your T3 factories, get them to spam out a bunch of T3 engineers, or even T1 engineers, fuck it. But you need build power, and there we go, GC started. That's what I was hoping for. Little T... what the fuck was that? Jeremy? Jeremy? Do you have your glasses on, Jeremy? You just killed, like, 6 of our own units, Jeremy. Why did you do that? You fucking idiot. It's like there wasn't even any enemy units in the area. He just bombed a bunch of his own units. Fucking Jeremy. Loads of demolishers moving forwards, but not enough Percivals and shields to protect them, I don't think. There's tons of Harbingers moving forward. Strap Bombers now moving forwards again as well, sorry. Less than 1,000 hit points on each of those demolishers, that they will be demolished by Strap Bombers. More assist on air, says Crazy Radish. Down but not out. I think if this GC is allowed to get online, it's hard to see how Townwinter will stay in the game after that, but still only, like, it says he's got about 600 income, but really he's got less than 400 income, because that's how much he's spending. All of the rest of it is being deleted by the lack of build power. I mean, just build more engineers, build T3 engineers. Harbingers assisting this factory, I'm not really sure why. Interesting. But there's really no reason to have so few engineers. This is not good enough, unfortunately, for Madman. I mean, he's been in this situation for quite some time. There we go. He's finally just about almost keeping up with his income. GC could be going up a lot faster. I mean, he's floating, what, 48,000 mass? That's enough to build, like, almost 2 GCs, I think. Take a look at the numbers on that. Yeah, GC costs 27,500 mass, so almost enough to build 2 GCs just in the mass bar there. So stop building other units, just build effing engineers. And I mean, you've got like double capped mexes. I feel like I'm being a little bit harsh, but the situation has been going on for quite some time. There are more engineers here than there were before, building engineers from over here somewhere, but honestly, just get like all of these factories. There's like 10 or 12 factories in this area. Get them all to build like 2 T3 engineers or something, and then switch back to harbingers and sniper bots or whatever it is you're building. Artillery doggos. No, these aren't the artillery doggos, is it? It's the Seraphim that have the artillery doggos. But that GC almost done now. I've been ranting for so long that I didn't notice how quickly the GC was going up. Downwinter defending this forward position with his comm. He's got a 2 upgrades on that comm, but not enough hit points and not enough Ravagers and Triads in defense, so going to have to retreat with his commander there. Bring a bunch of T3 units over to defend that comm. Strat Bomber over on the left hand side, and Madman with significantly more ASFs on the field. Actually, I can't see a single. No, there they are. Bunch of ASFs for Townwinter, but not enough to contend in the air. GC completed now. Just start straight at work on another one. That's exactly what he's doing. Good job. Let's take a look. Still deleting about 100 mass per second. This Madman, so still not ideal, but better than it was before. And this push has been defended against. They took down one of the only shield generator. Oh no, maybe there were 2 shield generators and they killed both of them. I'm not sure. But still, why are all of these mexes not built? Can someone explain this to me? Why are all these mexes not built? Mexes over here have been killed by the Strat Bomber, but these ones should have been built and defended like 10 minutes into the game, and could have been generating so much mass over the course of the last 40 minutes. For some reason, Madman has just... Townwinter and Crazy Radish just never built them. I don't know why. That GC lumbering forwards. Serenities, just in case anybody doesn't know, the only T3 mobile RT that can fire whilst moving. Might be able to see one of them fire on the move in a minute, getting in range of some enemy units. There we go. It's thinking about it. It's thinking about it. Ah, no, he says. Maybe tomorrow. And this one takes a shot. There you go. Firing on the move, not never a bad thing. Bunch of Harbingers moving up on the left-hand side there for Madman. Going to try and take back control of this plateau, and a whole bunch of T3 and T2 units for Madman on the right-hand side as well. T2 and T3 units moving in the middle. There's so many parashields here. Parashields are great, but you've got to make use of them. Actually, either move forwards, kill this firebase, or move out of range of the T2 BDs. But the GC is about to take that option away from you. So it's going to start firing out of its fucking face. Look at that thing go. Superman style. And those units from Townwinter going to retreat. You can see Madman about 200k mass total ahead of his opponent. Nuke done for Townwinter though. Do we have nuke defense? We've got mass fabricators. We've got a lot of mass fabricators. We've got nuke defense here. Not loaded though. Not loaded though. Bunch of build capacity in the area. There's like 300 build capacity here. Could be assisting this patron. Is that what it's called? Patron, yeah. There is a second GC back here actually, but not doing anything as yet. The first GC continuing to move forwards. Where is the nuke launcher? Here it is. No build power really on that assisting, so it's going to take some time. So if that nuke launcher doesn't get any assistance on it, it will finish its missile later than the nuke defense. Excuse me. Later than the nuke defense launcher will. Where's that GC? There it is. I mean, this fat boy still hasn't been picked up. I think Townwinter should have picked that up a long time ago. He had control of this area. At least he had T2 and T3 units out here for a long time. Could have got engineers up here to get at least some of the mass out of this thing. Although, no, he must have got some of it, because it had 17,000 mass before, unless it got bombed. He's got about 2/3 of the mass, so not too bad, I suppose. More NG reclaim with the attack move from factory, says Crazy Radish. Not a bad idea. Bunch of T1 bombers. Very mass to DPS efficient T1 bombers. So Town Winter making use of those. One of the main problems they have is that they will do a whole bunch of friendly fire. Harbinger's still far enough away from friendly positions that it's not a problem yet, but you can see a little bit of friendly fire on the SAM launcher there. Most of those Harbingers going down. I don't think they've really killed anything of importance. They've killed a SAM launcher, that is reasonably important. Killed a couple of T1 PDs, less important, but the bomber's going to kill them before they can destroy any of the mass production, and still, Mex is never built. I don't know why. Fuck ton of Harbingers. I don't know why I'm swearing so much today, sorry. But a fuck ton of Harbingers moving forwards to assist this GC, pushing forwards. I think these, if I guess, no, they're all on the same move order. I was thinking maybe that the Harbingers were on an assist order on the GC. The GC was moving forwards, but not so. Awasa! Awasa! Completed. A Madman. Do we have nuke defense? No, we still don't have nuke defense. He's got some build power on it, but no build power on this nuke launcher. It's open though. Is that right? Is it supposed to be open? Did I miss something? Did I miss the nuke being fired? A big decal somewhere? Interesting. I think I might have missed the nuke being fired. That's really annoying. Sorry about that. But one of those GCs goes down to the overwhelming firepower that these Percivals are able to put out. Second GC firing away now. A few kills on that boy. Percival's moving forwards. And Town Winter building up Ravagers at a half-decent pace. But the Awasar comes in over the top, just fucking wrecks all of those Percivals. I didn't even see that Awasar until it was too late. I think I saw that at about the same time that Town Winter did. Comes in for another pass. He's going to go for the calm itself now. It's definitely going to kill a bunch of structural units. And yeah, one more. One more bomb will kill that calm. I'm a poet and I didn't even know I was rhyming those words. But SF's now in chase. I think this Awasar should just continue forwards. It's going for a bit of a dodge, but while I was focusing on the wrong thing, once again I missed a comm kill. But I think those Harbingers and the GC getting in range and defeating that comm once and for all. I was so behind early game, says Madman, but Team 2 on basically double the total mass at the end of the game there. I mean, there was just not really any way that Town Winter was going to be able to win. I think the nuke was not a bad idea. No kills on it. Oh, it's the nuke defense that was open. I was looking at this while the nuke launcher was right over here. I think, I don't know, if he had put all of his resources onto building that nuke, maybe he could have got something done. Nuke defense loaded now for Madman, but I think Town Winter had built that nuke launcher early enough that he could have done damage with it. And he was just building other stuff, I think. But yeah, Town Winter just so far behind on generated ego for such a long time. I mean, like he had like 8 mexes that he could have built that he didn't build. I don't really know why. But yeah, fun game though. A fun game indeed. 132 reclaim. Not bad. Not bad. Let's see how much reclaim is on the map here. 250k reclaim. Yeah, I've seen better. Anyway, let me know down in the comments what you think Town Winter and Crazy Radish should have done to try and win this game. Let me know what you think of the videos. Tell me about your day. But until next time, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.